microphones. This is a loud chair.
I apologize. I'll get you a quieter chair next time.
I have a running problem with that. I think I'm just fat. All my chairs
a running problem is...
All my chairs get loud.
Honey, that's not a running problem. That's a sitting problem. You've sat so much.
Okay, we're live. We're ready. Ready when you are, babe.
Okay, I was going to make a bad joke, but...
Go ahead.
Make the bad joke?
Well, after the intro.
No, I don't want to make it. It might hurt people's feelings.
Okay.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Tailosive Talks podcast. And I hope I didn't say that too loud, but
you're good.
I'm your host, Louise Erickson, and I'm joined today by my wonderful husband, Andrew Erickson.
Hey,
how are you doing?
Thank you for having me on again.
Of course.
Really appreciate
Always
it.
love having you on.
We've had this is your Friday. Congrats.
Saturday is my Friday.
Saturday is her Friday because her weekend is Sunday and Monday. So she's reached the end of the work week, and now we can stay up a little bit later. So that's fun.
Hey.
Not too late.
I doubt we'll stay up that late.
No. Later than usual, though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe.
For sure. A little bit later than usual.
We should go on a moonlit hike or something.
Ooh. You want to go on a moonlit hike?
Do you remember we used to go to that mountain at midnight and listen to music really loud?
A mountain?
I don't want to say the name of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember a mountain. But yeah, no, the only thing I don't like about that is the drive.
Yeah,
the drive
it's
always
too far.
Got me sick. Not necessarily that it was far, it was just windy.
Oh, you got car sick?
Yeah, anytime I would go there. Unless I drove, but I still don't like driving. This is why we need a Tesla.
I'm surprised you don't like driving.
Why
I
is
don't
that?
like driving either. I make you drive all the time.
Well, that is because I love you and I want to make you happy.
I love you too.
But
thank you.
What do you not like about driving? I know why I don't like it. I want to hear why you don't like it.
I'm lazy. That's basically
That's really it.
That's the main reason why I don't like a lot of things.
So it's legit just you'd rather, is it kind of like background task? Like you know how to do it?
Right.
You do the same thing every day because you drive a lot.
Yeah, I drive about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Half an hour to work and half an hour back.
I drive a lot now, but I'll not be driving as much when I move home.
Why do you drive a lot?
Well, because we're going between home and the office and home and the office and back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of driving going around, but we're going to cut down on gas soon. So that's
Pretty
good.
Soon.
But we got a super chat.
Oh.
Was it our old classic
Trainer Caton? Hey.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Always the record holder.
Good afternoon. Drew, are you surprised they didn't release Air Power this week?
Surprised isn't the right word.
Disappointed?
Well, I mean, we've been expecting Air Power to come out for legit, years. No joke, years. So when it doesn't come out, you're kind of like, well,
I don't think it's over, though. It's not over till the fat lady sings or the Tim Apple.
I think this has been a long time coming, and we're just nearing the end because there's a lot more leaks for it now than ever before. So I'm just like, we're close.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen soon, and I don't know when that is specifically.
I feel like it's going to be either at the event or before then. We still have tomorrow.
It's a safe assumption, but I would put my assumption on the event as well.
Yeah, he was asking, will they be releasing it after Monday? But if you're guessing before
the
Monday,
latest Digitimes rumors said late March, which we're basically in. Mm-hmm. So basically means any day. Could happen at any moment, really. So yeah, I won't hold my breath over it. Still not that super excited, but
I'm super excited.
You are?
Yeah.
I just want the wait to be over. I don't need a phone charger. I'm not in need of that. But
although it would be nice to be able to put all your items, all your devices on one thing, except we need to get separate ones because we can't fit all of our devices
Double
on
Air
it.
Power. We talked about this last
Yes,
podcast.
couples version.
We got a super chat from Sam the MD, and he said, Leafy Review Update Edition.
Can I make him clap?
I don't think so. Not audibly.
This is his body. These are his arms. Okay. Leafy Review.
Yeah. The boys are coming up, well, technically next week because it's Saturday today. But, yeah, the boys are coming up Thursday night, I believe. Mm-hmm. They said that they're picking up the Tesla at around 4 o'clock, and that's in, like, the Bay Area, so
they won't be home till, or not home, but...
They won't be here until around...
9, 8.
Oh, I don't think it takes that long. I thought more like 7.
Well, if they're driving in rush hour...
Yeah, that has part to do with it. If there was, like, no traffic, I've seen maps say it'll take, like, 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. But I know there will be traffic, so it's probably going to be more like 3.5 hours. Or more.
What are you going to be doing? Because I'm leaving Monday. So you're going to be alone for like 4 days.
I think I'll do some more later night gaming streams. Just because, not that I miss those. I just haven't done one in a while. Mm-hmm. Like, because I've always had to do my gaming streams in the early morning or later in the day. Because I have to get everything done by 4 o'clock. But now that I'll be by myself again for a couple days, I'm like, mix it up a little
Bachelor life.
Just
for
a little
4 days.
A little flashback, yeah.
Are you going to do another 24-hour live stream?
No. That was horrible.
Never again?
No, I don't want to do that again. I legit did that just so that I could be like, okay, I don't have to do it again. Now I could say I did it, and I have no intentions of doing it again. But you haven't done
the 48-hour one yet.
And I never will. That's not happening.
What if I did it with you?
Maybe.
You can barely stand 4 hours.
I don't think you could do it.
Why? Oh, staying up?
I stay up with you, and I know how easily you
you have to stay up for the stream? I would just let them like watch me sleep.
No, when we did the 24-hour stream, I was the one who stayed awake the whole time. Mm-hmm. I was the one who kept myself awake.
Kaiten asks, what games would you be streaming?
Probably
Fortnite.
Fortnite's the obvious one.
Flappy
but
Bird.
Honestly, I want to figure out how to put Age of Empires on my computer and stream that. Because I used to play that game a lot when I was a kid.
Is that a building game? Kind of like Clash of Clans?
Not exactly. Yeah, it's more like Clash of Clans, but before Clash of Clans was a thing. It's a very older...
The OG Clash of Clans.
Older game. I remember when Age of Empires came out, and I played it on Mac when I was a kid. And I loved it. And I was going through my old 2011 iMac the other day because I'm finding all these old hard drives and I'm realizing, hey, we're going to have the Wi-Fi here at the office for a while, just kind of sitting. I should just have it back up footage while I'm not here and using it. So right now, it's even doing it as we speak. It's backing up all my old footage from shorts and 2014 shorts and 2013 shorts, like really, really old videos, because I don't know how much longer the hard drives are going to last. Mm-hmm. So it's just on a constant backup.
How long is this going to take, do you think?
Oh, easily like several weeks. I've been doing it for like 2 days now, and I've backed up probably 0.5 terabyte worth of stuff.
Yikes. And you have like 10 terabytes.
Well, not on the old hard drives. I have more recent hard drives that are.
And you don't need to back those up?
Maybe if I have time, I will, because I'd rather not assume that they're going to last, because I have had several hard drives go bad on me, which is not fun. And it annoys me because you like buy them.
Right.
And you're like, okay, they're working good. And you store a bunch of stuff on them and then the warranty expires.
Were they solid state or just regular?
I haven't had an SSD go bad. I've had the regular hard drives go bad.
Well, those tend to go bad because there's moving parts inside.
Yep. But what's funny is these old hard drives that are from 2009 that I have plugged in, like legit, this Western Digital hard drive I bought before that iMac, that 2011 one. So it's older. Like it hooked up to that white iMac that I moved to our house. I bought it for that computer, and it's still working.
2 white iMacs. Right?
Oh, I only owned one.
Okay.
One of them was a family computer. No, one of them's a little smaller and newer. And that was the one my sister Abby got when she got into middle school.
I just had a really cool idea.
What's that?
Well, if our house was bigger, what if we set our house up like an Apple store? Because you literally have enough old like computers. Like,
yeah, my landlord came in here once and he thought I was selling things.
Because we were.
Well, no, because of all the this was months ago. He came inside and he saw the Apple boxes and he was like, "So are you selling like computers and phones to people? And I was like, no one comes here. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's just the background.
Anyways, it wouldn't be like exactly like a modern Apple store, but it could be like Apple through the times. And you have like a couple 80s computers, Apple computers.
They're very old.
Some of those like, what are
there
those
are
called?
Apple museums.
G-books.
I don't have any G-books. There's some Power books.
Didn't your dad have some?
Yeah, I think he has some. I don't know where they are though. But no, like there are Apple museums I've seen. There's one in Italy, I think, that legit has like every Apple product throughout the years.
Ever.
Yeah. No, like they have one of the first Apple I computers that like Steve Jobs and Wozniak built in the garage.
Wow.
They go for tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I think more now.
Because there's only like 300 of them made or something?
I think it's like 200 and there's only 50 working.
Wow.
So they are like super like careful
I'm
with
surprised any of them work considering how old they are.
I could be remembering it wrong. Some of them might not work at all, but I know that I remember a YouTuber. I think it was either iJustine or someone who went to a Apple museum and they had like the timeline with every product there. It was like this iPod, this iPod, this iPod, and then this Mac and this Mac. And they had one of, I think they went on auction once, one of Steve Jobs' actual outfits, like his shoes and his jeans and his turtleneck.
That's kind of creepy.
He had like 100 of them.
What if someone sold your clothes? It's like he never washed his underwear. They still smell like his butt.
Unwashed underwear sold for $40,000.
So
it would.
You know, I watched a Shane Dawson video. He sold his underwear on eBay for $100,000. It ended up not going through though because they were used. There's a law against that, or a rule. You can't sell used underwear.
Oh, thank God.
Because
what's that?
It's like a fetish thing.
Ew. Well, what's at the ARC places then? We've been to thrift stores that have underwear on sale.
Probably new. I don't think they're reselling old underwear.
Well,
I hope not.
Where's it? The places that just resell.
People donate new stuff. You don't have to donate just the stuff you use.
How do we know they're not used?
I mean, I'm not going to buy
check that?
Underwear. Sniff test.
How do you sniff test? How do you confirm someone hasn't worn underwear?
Scratch and sniff.
Oh, it was weird. I've been to thrift stores where underwear is out.
Okay, well, honey, don't buy it. I'm telling you now.
No, I don't. I don't buy clothes.
You don't buy clothes. What are you talking about? You buy lots of clothes.
I buy my merch to promote my merch. Yeah. That's the only thing I buy, but that's about it. Yeah, Goodwill. That's a good example. Rowan has an interesting question. He said, "What
William
is your opinion?"
Is so nice. Goodwill.
Oh,
sorry.
I see you're doing a bit. He says, "What is your opinion of the evaluation of YouTube content? We are already seeing generations that grew up with YouTube, and there are clear trend eras, i.e., smaller sketch comedy and vlogging now." That's a deep question. So, what is your opinion of the evaluation of YouTube content? Have you ever seen those type of channels?
I don't know what that means. Evaluation.
I could be wrong, but I assume
people rate other channels.
Not exactly rate like number wise, but I assume he might be referring to channels that kind of talk about specifically YouTube and the creators on it, and like kind of drama, i.e., or situations that are going down. Yeah. Do you think that's getting too meta, or do you think that's kind of smart that we have people that step in?
Step in for what? What do you mean?
Like for maybe dramas going on, or channels tanking. Like the channel that comes to my mind is Paul, who kind of talks a lot about YouTube and other situations.
What do I think about like people judging other people, or?
That might be a more negative connotation to it. I just mean talking about YouTube situations between other YouTubers.
I mean, it's free speech. You can do what you want. I don't think it's really adding anything to people's minds or spirits.
No.
But it's entertaining. Like, why do we watch 90 Day Fiancé? It's not adding anything to our lives.
Yeah, that's just nonstop drama.
Yeah. So that's all about the drama.
YouTube is just a different form of that in a way.
A different platform to share.
Different platform, yeah. It's kind of, I think, nice to have people that are outside of the situation and just observing, because then they can kind of have a more non-opinionated viewpoint and just kind of describe the situation. DeFranco kind of does a lot of that. Yeah. Opposed to someone who's defending themselves versus someone who's attacking the other. Philip DeFranco does a lot of that. He tries to like compare both sides.
So there are people that attack like or judge what other YouTubers are doing? Or what do you mean?
I don't watch a ton of these type of YouTubers, but I'm just saying like someone can call out another YouTuber for being hypocritical or wrong or immoral. That happens all the time. And then other people step in and
how can you judge someone when you're not perfect either?
So, that's a dangerous road. That means you can't. So would you say criticizing anyone?
No, there's nothing wrong with criticizing people, but I don't think you should put yourself, like, don't be on your high horse thinking you're perfect and everyone else is messed up.
No. Well, I don't think that's where it comes from. But I still think people criticize others without.
It's a lot easier to throw rocks at others than be introspective and like look into your own life and see what's wrong with you.
Sure. So would you say that it's wrong for other YouTubers to criticize or call out others? Or
free speech? You can do what you want.
No, I know it's not legally wrong. I'm asking you ethically. Do you think it doesn't make sense because we're not perfect?
Ethically,
anyway?
Again, it doesn't affect me. So they can do what they want. If that's what brings joy to them is saying these people suck or they're
I would stand with a lot of them. There are some YouTubers that I think really suck.
Yeah.
And have done some messed up stuff. And I would agree that calling them out is probably a good idea to kind of provide backlash for their actions, because sometimes audiences will just enable them, which is sort of a dangerous thing on YouTube. Is you get these big audiences and you get these big fan bases, and you start to feel like you can do no wrong, even when you do wrong. So having other people call you out on it, I think, can be helpful, so that they understand they're messing up.
Maybe, but if they're already doing that kind of stuff, maybe they don't see anything wrong with it. Yeah.
I mean, if they are doing it, clearly they don't see something wrong with it. But it may take someone who's not a fan, who's not really tied to them as a friend or an ally, to make them realize they're doing something wrong. Sometimes much larger fan bases.
I guess I'd have to like think about each specific situation. Like I don't know what we're specifically talking about. It's very nebulous.
You want me to think of an example?
Oh, I don't want to call anyone out.
There's some I think you can safely call out.
Okay.
You won't get backlash for being angry.
I'm not angry. I'm really indifferent to the whole YouTube community.
You have nothing to worry about then. I would say, do you want someone who you think was wrongly accused or someone who you think is rightly accused?
How would I know if they were wrongly or rightly accused?
To me, it's obvious. But
okay, well, just tell me.
Okay. One example was the loot box, mystery box promotions by Rice Gum and Jake Paul. I think it was Jake. I can't remember. I can't tell them apart. One of them Pauls. People. They're just kind of playing stupid leapfrog, in my opinion. They're just trying to top each other, who can do the dumber thing, and get more attention for it. Now they're like, I'm a flat earther. And I'm like, no, you're not. You just want attention. But they basically took a brand deal from a gambling site and promoted it to their audience as a sponsored video, where they showed like, hey, you can put money into these mystery boxes and they'll suddenly give you AirPods for $5 and you can get an Apple Watch for $20. And it's clearly a scam. And what happens basically is that sponsorship site sends those YouTubers a certain account that increases their chances to be way higher, so that when they record the video, they get really, really good results. They like put in the box and they sell it back and they're like, wow, I'm making so much money. I just made 10 grand. And then when other people actually do the mystery boxes, they basically all get scammed and they lose a ton of money and none of it's real. But they're also promoting, gambling to children, because most of their fan bases are much younger. So they get called out for that because they got, they basically, they accepted, they didn't say exactly, but they said the brand deal was like 6 figures. So they were like, but I'm getting paid. So as long as I'm getting paid, I don't really care if my audience gets scammed.
So they have no moral conflict within themselves to do this.
To me, it's hijacking your audience. That's what it is. It's like,
well, it's misleading marketing, similar to like if you see a McDonald's commercial that's like, look how good this burger is, and then you actually show up there and it's like, oh, it's a soggy bun with a thin piece of meat or whatever. I don't know. I don't go to McDonald's.
Sure.
But yeah, I definitely think that's wrong of them to do, and I'm not against people calling them out for that.
No, I'm not either. I think that's a good example because honestly, a lot of people were getting really mad at them for that, rightfully so. And ultimately, I was watching. What was worse was how they responded to it. Like Rice Gum apologized, but in a really snarky way, and he was just saying,
I remember that.
Other people did it and no one cared. And then he just started pasting Amazon gift card codes
that
all over the
were
screen.
already used.
And people called them up and found out that they were used. So he fake gave away gift cards and pretended that they were new.
Yeah, well, he's definitely like an easy target since he is such a big channel.
Right. But I ultimately decided for myself that, you know what? I'm almost kind of glad that it happened. Because if anything, hijacking your audience and using them for your own personal gain at their loss hopefully can let some of them wake up and realize that they're not watching a YouTuber that cares about them. They're watching a YouTuber that just cares about money. So maybe the scam, as bad as it is, will open their eyes a little bit and they'll be like, wow, he sent me to that site and I lost a ton of money. And he just did it because it was a brand deal. I don't like this guy anymore. I'm not going to watch him anymore. I don't want to support him. And ultimately, hopefully, that will impact his audience and it will take the message that it was a bad idea.
You'd like to think that's how it works, right?
I'd like to. Probably won't,
I feel
though.
like people who are watching them don't really care. It's like...
It's true. That's the scary thing about the audiences that build up. It's almost like it's not necessarily the YouTubers that act crazy that you should be afraid of. It's the audiences that watch it that are the sad part. And
why?
like people enjoy. Well, I think the saddest thing about, like, to flash back to 2018 about the whole like suicide forest vlog Logan did. Remember that? The saddest thing wasn't that he filmed that and uploaded it. The saddest thing was that it was up and had majority likes by his audience.
How is that sadder? Just
because
the fact that
the fans were okay with it, essentially.
Okay, well,
they didn't mind.
He was okay with it as well. So I feel like they're
Right.
on the same level. I don't think you can judge one side more than the other. Or you should.
No, I'm not judging more one than the other. I'm just saying it's depressing to me that people were like accepting of it.
It is.
Because they liked the YouTuber.
But, I mean, his audience is a reflection of him, so it's not really surprising.
No, I wouldn't say it's surprising, but yeah, it's just kind of sad because it's like that's not going anywhere. You can't really stop it. So,
and
yeah, and YouTube didn't stop it either. That was an even more depressing part.
This controversy didn't stop him at all. He's still successful in some people's eyes. But I think it'll all catch up to him because you can't live your whole life that way, or maybe you can.
Numbers are dipping, actually.
No, I mean, like
which I'm kind of happy about.
Does he even do YouTube anymore?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, well, he's got like other things going on.
I'm just saying the Paul brothers as a whole, their growth has gone down pretty significantly. But which I'm okay with. I think that fad can only last so long, be that loud and obnoxious. But anywho, that's one topic. Have you seen? Let's see. Did you want to talk about our taxes? That was what happened recently.
Okay, yes, we can talk about it.
Moving on to a more fun topic. We did our taxes yesterday. We figured out what we owe and everything. So that was fun.
Marriage is great.
Did I ruin it for you?
No.
Because it's mostly my fault, I know.
It's okay.
And I hate seeing you upset.
We kind of just I'm not upset at you. It's hard to be an adult sometimes and like life kicks you in the face and you just have to take it. And then you get up and redo the whole process and be like, oh, I'm in a good place in life right now. And then it happens again.
It's a big slap in the face.
Yeah.
The cost
Should
of
we
existence.
tell them like exactly how much we owe?
No, I won't go into the specifics.
Okay.
I'll just say it's basically a whole one of my paychecks. That's safe
More
to
than
say.
that.
About. Pretty close, though.
It's like both of our incomes for a whole month.
Basically, all the money we'll make in April won't exist.
Yeah.
Both our paychecks from April will just disappear. That's what our taxes are, which I thought wasn't too bad. It definitely could have been a lot worse, but yeah, I mean that's the sad fact of existing.
Yeah, they say there are two things guaranteed in life: death and taxes.
That's right.
And we haven't faced the first one yet, so we'll just keep facing the second one.
Yeah, we'll keep facing taxes. Everyone
keeps talking about my necklace,
which is clearly from the film Moana.
No, it's not. I had this before Moana came out.
Moana, you should sue them.
It is a New Zealand Maori necklace, so like traditional Maori. I think it's like cow bone, probably.
Cow bone?
Yeah. Huh. I hope it's not like whale or something. That'd be bad.
Ooh.
But it's called a heimatau, and it's supposed to grant like safety over passage of waters. So like if I was traveling overseas, I'm a little stitious.
Yeah. You wear that a lot.
Yeah, I don't take it off.
Yeah, I know.
Should I take it off? It's probably full of my neck
like
germs.
The first time I visited you when we were dating in Florida, you still had that necklace on. So it's been in the...
One of my friends gave this to me back in our senior year of high school, and I've just worn it ever since.
It kind of pokes you sometimes.
Yeah. Like I'll roll over and it'll stab me in the neck.
Yeah, that's not good.
Because it's really sharp.
And you always needed my help taking it off. You were like, "Can you untie this knot? I can't get it."
Yeah, it gets stuck. Yeah. Anyways, back to the taxes.
Oh yeah, back to depression.
I'm not depressed. I've heard depression is not based off of your environment or what you're going through. It's like, a hormone imbalance or like a mental...
Oh, really?
A mental illness.
Okay. I did not know that.
Really? You thought it was just like, oh, I'm really sad, I'm depressed.
I thought it was a combination.
It might be. But as far as I know, like, I'm not depressed. It's just life. Life is hard. Things can be
depressing.
Well, even that's like, you're kind of novelizing. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the word is, but you're like kind of putting depression down or minimizing what depression actually is by saying, I had such a hard day at work. I'm so depressed. That was really depressing.
No, yeah. There's like a diagnosis for him.
Right. You can't diagnose yourself. You have to go to a doctor. And
how do they diagnose you though?
I don't know.
I always wondered how that works.
They probably ask you like, do you have suicidal thoughts? Or I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, I've had family members, I won't go into specifics, but I've had people in my life that were diagnosed with depression. And I can't figure out I can't figure out how they confirm that it's like, are you just sad or are you like chemically imbalanced?
Yeah, it might be more or a combination of both. I would have to do more research before I can speak on this.
Yeah, I haven't done much research either. But
that kind of like worries me that both of us have like genetic links to people with depression. So like our kids are going to be messed up probably.
I hope not. I've never found myself too depressed as a person.
Because you're not depressed, honey.
Yeah.
You can be sad. You don't have to be depressed.
No, I just mean I feel like of other people I've been present with in the room, I usually feel like the optimist.
Yeah. No, you definitely like, you're optimistic and you're grounded. Very grounded. Like sometimes you're calm. Mm-hmm. If I'm like freaking out about something, like you just have a calming presence, and I don't know, you bring me back down to earth and say like, it's okay. You don't have to freak out.
Oh, good. Well, I try my best. I just don't see the point in stressing or getting worried about things, so I try to minimize it as much as possible.
Some people can't control that. like people with anxiety.
That happens to me too. I try to not dwell on it as much
You
as
have
possible.
like not motivation, but like self-control, self-will that you can like physically tell yourself like, okay, I'm not going to feel this way. I'm going to feel happy.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that.
It's true.
Anyways,
difficult.
back to taxes. I just wanted to say that I feel like my childhood was so easy and I did not realize like how good I had it. I kind of took it for granted.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you miss childhood in that way, or?
I just miss, I guess, the lack of responsibilities, lack of
Do you say childhood
stress.
was easier?
Yeah, in different ways, yes.
First of all, where are we drawing the line for childhood?
I'd
What
say
ages?
I definitely gained a lot more responsibility when I was like 11.
Oh, okay. So we're talking
So
pre-11.
Pre-11.
Okay.
Pre-9/11.
No.
Just sorry.
Go there.
Yeah, before I was 11, but then my sister was born and then I kind of like stepped into like, the big sister role and I, helped raise my sister.
Yeah.
And that made me grow up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess like being an adult is easy in some parts if you're like taking it step by step and like adding responsibilities onto your plate. But like I feel bad for anyone who's just like kicked out by their parents and suddenly they have no place to live, no job, like have no way to, feed or clothe or shelter themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I kind of garnered things over time, like my skills with money and, having a job and being a stable person. I have a car, I have savings, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, being an adult is definitely a lot more responsibilities. With taxes, it's just like another thing that I'm learning is very hard to deal with, but we'll get through it.
It's mostly my fault.
It's not your fault.
No, you wouldn't have owed like anything if it weren't for me.
Who knows? Maybe. I mean, last year, I think I got like 700 back.
Well, because you're not self-employed.
Yeah, so it's automatically.
The place you work at takes the taxes out before you even get the money.
And I feel like it's too much. Like,
Really?
Can I keep most of my money?
I mean, it's pretty common for people who work in that type of job to get money back.
Yeah,
I've
maybe.
had
I
lots
don't
of
really
friends
know like
that have that happen.
what the rules are. I
Like
know
why
it's
I
like
got money back.
probably because he went to school the previous year. Or do you mean this year? He got money back?
Yeah. Last time I talked to him,
Well,
he
he
said
works
got
part
money
time,
back.
so he probably makes like $2 a month. I don't know.
No,
But people who are under a threshold,
yeah, he was
have
probably under
less
that
taxes.
threshold, likely. But yeah,
it's something interesting is both of us doubled our incomes from 2017 to 2018.
Right. Yeah, I saw Ben was bringing up, are you going to save a certain percentage and put it aside?
Yeah, we're going to start doing that.
The thing is, we did that last year. Well, I did before we were
Barely.
married. No, I'm saying I plan to pay my taxes quarterly. So I got my tax quote for 2017.
Yeah, but
and
she
I
was
got
basing it off of that income, which she had only had for half the year.
Right, but we don't know how my income was going to go. It's all over the place. So we paid my amount I owed in 2017 quarterly, like at 4 times within the year. So then by the time these taxes came around, my income was so much higher that the quarterly taxes I paid didn't really cover that much. So now we're going to pay an upgraded amount for our quarterly taxes
And we'll still
payments.
Probably owe next year.
If we make more.
Yeah.
If we don't, then maybe we won't owe that much. We'll see. We'll find out. So
Cheyenne, I don't know how you say that, said, I miss my teenage years.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say was your favorite years of your life so far?
21.
You've been 21 for 1 month.
And it's my favorite year so far.
Oh,
I don't miss being a child, and I don't miss being a teenager at all.
Yeah.
Some people might disagree with that, but we all had different lives. So, but I'm kind of with Sup. I don't miss childhood because I like having the freedom of adulthood, even if it comes with more responsibilities.
Right.
I prefer this. Like I don't feel like I took for granted those old days because those old days kind of sucked to me. I mean, I
Yeah.
had good times, but I by no means like envy them anymore. Like if the price of being an adult and being able to work for myself and be married to a beautiful wife and we control our
You're sweet.
future and we get to do whatever I want. If that just costs, one paycheck a year, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
I'll happily pay taxes, which is not easy to do. But
For sure.
no, my
know.
high school years were probably the worst years of my life.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. They're over.
Our
And I'm
senior
happy
year
about
was
that.
pretty good because I got to meet you.
Senior year was the best year of the 4, but
'Cause
it was
it's
still
more-
bad. I would still rather be in the years I'm in right now. I
Right.
feel like I'm living the dream.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you feel that way. I feel like we're in some of the best years of our lives, and I hope that we keep feeling that way as we get older.
Yeah,
But
me too.
honestly, I don't feel like I'm that much more in control now than I was before, if that makes sense. Like,
Really?
obviously I am we are both in control of our lives and our destinies, but it's like I have to be my own parent now, so I can't like enjoy the responsibility of it, or irresponsibility rather. Like, even though we have so much more resources and like
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
more freedom, we still have to like limit ourselves and have boundaries. Like, how much are we going to budget for this month? And we can't go out more than, 5 times a week. Like, we need to chill out because we've been eating out a lot. It's bad.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll make it.
I know we'll be fine, but it's like I'd rather get to our goals faster. And it's just hard to say no to ourselves.
It's just you kind of have to put a certain realization on that, the constant battle of getting to the goal, because ultimately, will you ever be there?
Satisfied.
Will you ever be growing fast
Yeah.
enough? And I think the answer is no. I don't think there ever will be a time where you feel like you're getting to your next goal quick enough, because there will always be another one, with money at least.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
unless
just want
you're
to find
billionaire.
I
but-
want to find the balance between enjoying my life and like getting to those goals,
Yeah.
because it's like, I mean, I can still enjoy life without, spending a ton of money, but it's also more enjoyable when you can like have little luxuries, like going out to eat or buying
Yeah.
yourself something. But like, I don't know. There's just something in me that like hurts when I say yes to myself. Like, is that weird?
No, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse in a lot of ways. Like, it's healthy that you don't like the idea of moving away from that goal or spending money that you might not necessarily have to spend this money. You could live life without spending this money. That can be really dangerous if you don't care, because then it'll just keep going. If you don't care and you're loving the expenses and you're loving those purchases, then it'll all just slip away. And I
Yeah.
kind of have that problem, at least before we were married. And
But you've never been in debt, which is good. A lot of people
No, I'm not.
have credit card.
No, I never
debt.
took out loans or went overdue on credit card payments or anything like that. But my mentality growing up was just like, I want to afford this, so I need to make enough money to afford that. That was my dangerous thing, was I would spend recklessly, but luckily I was smart enough to make enough to cover it, so I could just keep
Your
going.
income was kind of hiding the problem of your like irresponsibility.
Yeah.
Like, if you had gotten in an emergency where you
Yes.
couldn't afford it, then you'd be like, oh, I really messed up. Like, I should have been saving this whole time.
No, for sure. If
But-
some type of emergency would have come up and I needed a lot of money, then I would have not had it. But luckily, nothing too major came up. And now that we're working together as a joint account and as a married couple, we, I think, retain the benefits of both of our working situations.
Yeah, we definitely have like different mindsets or just like
sure.
personality types when it
Definitely.
comes to finances. And I hope that, like, even though we're opposites a little bit, I hope that we are able to like help each other find
Yeah.
the balance in things.
I think we have.
Like, you help me relax more with money.
Good.
And I feel like I reel you in and make sure you don't go crazy.
Well, we are moving out.
Go crazy.
Go
Go stupid.
crazy.
Sorry.
Wow. Look
Had
at
to
all
bring
these
that in.
oldies we got in the chat.
Hey, don't say that.
Oh, I'm
you guys are
kidding.
young
I'm
still.
kidding. You're all young.
Everyone put your ages in the chat.
I'm not being
I'm going to read out
disrespectful.
the ages.
I love
Should I
that
say
we
the
have-
names?
I love that we have you guys here.
Yeah. I actually have a lot
do
of older
appreciate you.
friends. Like, I feel like I can learn so much more from people
Absolutely.
who have experience in their years. And like, I don't know, you can be so much wiser if you surround yourself with people who know more than you. Like
I agree.
if you surround yourself with people,
All my
not
friends are older
necessarily
than me.
that young people are dumb, because we are young and I feel like we're pretty
Just
wise.
less experienced.
Yeah.
You know.
In some cases, but I'd say like surround yourself with people as smart as you or smarter than you
That's a
or
good
more
idea.
experienced than you. Oh, everyone's putting their ages down. I'll read them.
Interesting.
See, 20,
Oh, you don't
21,
have to read all
24,
of them, huh?
I'm 37, 45. I have to read all
We
of them.
missed a bunch at the top.
Okay, fine. I'll start at
But
the top.
No. I'm saying it's okay.
Give
You
me
don't have
30
to cover it.
seconds, please. I can do this.
They can see it.
45, 47, 37, 15,
Start reading it. They're just going to keep typing.
59. People are going to start saying 69 over and over again.
Yeah. Well, you just gave them the idea.
Okay, the youngest one is 14. Hello,
Wow.
Grant. No, 13. Never mind. Jacob.
Isn't
And
it
the
past your
oldest is
bedtime?
Theodore at 59. I'm not seeing anything
Wow.
older than that.
Nice.
Oh, no, there's a 63-year-old. Where is he?
I don't know. if I
Chat's going
believe
too
it.
fast.
That's okay.
But we welcome you guys of all ages.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
cool.
no. It's happening.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, honey.
I never
Anyways.
worry.
That's right.
Unless it's
Never.
only you and me, and then I vent to you constantly.
And she vents.
I am like an air vent.
Like trying to figure out the iTunes account this evening.
Yeah.
That was a stress ball.
Not really. So I had some leftover credit in an old iTunes account on my laptop, my 2009 MacBook Pro 15-inch.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, it still works. And we watch, what's that show? I Love Raymond. Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, everybody loves Raymond. Yeah.
Yeah, we watch it on there because we have the CD player.
DVD player too.
Yeah, DVD player. And yeah, I forgot the password or something, and it was such a hassle to find the password so we could
It's a
put
good
it.
thing you don't have two-factor authentication turned on.
I don't even know what that means.
Resetting your password was very easy to do. Like when you don't have 2FA, it's super easy to change your password. Like
oh my
you had
gosh.
to type in
You are so
like,
cool.
a couple codes.
2FA.
I've made whole videos on it, and it just gets
Yeah.
tired from saying two-factor authentication, two-factor authentication. So yeah, I condense things. But I'm just saying, you were like, oh shoot, I don't know my password. I just need to change it. And I was like, oh no, you're going to have to answer all these security questions, and you're going to have to figure out all this stuff.
Is that
And you just
mandatory?
put in a code, and you were like, there. And then you could change it to
Yeah.
whatever you want. And I was like, I
Is
could never do that.
2FA mandatory?
For me, it is, yeah.
Why? Because
Because
you
I'm
have
a
new
developer.
stuff?
And it's just smart
How are
if
you
you're
a
a
developer?
YouTuber.
What are you developing?
An app.
You're not doing that.
Well, you
People
gotta
are doing
publish
that
it
for
under
you.
my account. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I get all the beta softwares each year. You don't
Hey,
get
speaking
those.
of beta, isn't that coming out soon?
What?
Wasn't there like a release date for the beta? The public beta of the app?
I won't confirm anything.
Is
I
that a
don't know.
secret? I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
I don't know what it officially is. That's up to the devs. They'll TF2 or 2F. I know what that is.
What does that mean?
I think he's referring to Team Fortress 2, which is a game.
What's 2FA?
Two-factor authentication.
Right.
If you're a YouTuber, it's just a good idea overall. It's really safer because you don't want people guessing your passwords or anything like that. So now with 2FA turned on, it's basically impossible for someone to hack my Apple ID.
I bet I could do it. What?
Well, you know all my passwords.
Exactly. That's
So
why I could do it.
No, I'm saying if you didn't though. Actually, no. The difference with 2FA is that even if you knew my password, I could prevent you from getting in.
How?
You know what?
Pinning me down?
Put the name together. What does it say?
There's two people?
Two
Or-
factors.
Okay.
Which
What-
means that in order to log into my Apple ID at any time, not only do you have to know the password, you also have to be logged in on a separate iOS device,
Okay.
which
So I can
lessens
steal
the
your
chances.
phone and your watch, and then I could hack into.
But I would get it notified on whatever I was using at the time.
I'll steal all your Apple products. I have the answer.
So if you stole all the products and had the password, I guess maybe, yeah, then you could get in. I could still lock it remotely though. So there's that possibility. So if I knew someone stole all my stuff, I could go to some other computer, go to iCloud.com,
PC?
even a PC.
Wow.
I could go and find my iPhone and just lock everything down, technically.
That's good. Is there a way to link our phones together so that if you lose your phone, like it will show on my phone where it is?
I think we have that already.
Oh, I don't know.
Because we're on the family
Why is there a
plan,
Find My iPhone on your iPhone? Like if it's lost, how are you going to find it?
Find My iPhone is a generic term. It's just referring to all your devices. You can find your AirPods, you can find your iPad.
But if you lose your
iMac.
iPhone, where are you supposed to find your iPhone from?
From an iPad or another person's phone, it's really easy.
From another person's phone?
Yeah.
What
like
do you
if
type
I lost
in?
my phone, I could log into my Apple ID on your Find My iPhone
Right.
app. And it
But
would
let's
show up.
say I want to know where Paris Hilton is. Do I just put Find My iPhone Paris Hilton and then it shows where she is? Or what do you have to write down?
Well, you would have to know her ID and password.
Oh, like
Which
her
is not-
email? Paris Hilton.
The email's the easy part. The password's the hard
Password. I am hot.
part. And if she had, and if she had 2FA, you would have to have one of her devices.
Oh.
And if you guessed her password, she would be immediately notified.
I doubt she'd be like, oh my gosh, I just got this notification. I should definitely like do something about it.
And if someone guesses your password, it reveals their location. In other words, if you guessed
So she
Paris
can come to
Hilton's-
me.
No, she would know that someone guessed her password.
FBI.
And then she would hit deny and then change her password. That's what it's for.
Do you think
it's pretty?
Paris Hilton knows how to change her password?
I bet she has some manager that
Yeah.
handles that. I don't know who you're talking about, by the way.
For sure.
That name, I have no idea who that is.
What?
I don't know who Paris Hilton is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I imagine it's someone famous who doesn't need to manage their account or something like that. Code
With a
red,
name
lock it down.
with a name
Yeah.
like Paris, you know they're rich.
Yeah. Obviously, nothing is unhackable. I just read that they hacked the Tesla recently.
How can you hack a rock? Can you hack a rock?
Pickaxe?
That's axe a rock.
No.
How do you?
That would be if I threw an axe at it. I'm hacking at it. Eh.
How can I hack you?
You could hit me with a pickaxe, but I'd strongly advise against that. That's
Could
a bad
I
idea.
hypnite you?
Oh, do you want to talk about
with
the
a
movie we
certain-
watched tonight?
That was my
Oh, okay.
segue. Come
Oh,
on,
cool.
man. You gotta make it smooth.
Like the Jordan Peele directed film Get Out.
Yeah.
Would you hypnotize me?
Could I hack you that way?
Yeah.
I'd be like, think of
hypnosis
a-
is a form of hacking.
But I don't think it's real, honestly. I don't
You think
believe.
everyone who's ever been hypnotized is faking?
Maybe they're easily influenced or suggestible, but
You think they're just doing it for the fun of it?
yeah, why not? I mean, hypnotize me right now, and I'll just.
No, I don't know how.
Well, I'm going with it because hypnotism isn't real. Do it.
You're thinking of fried chicken.
Oh, I'm
Man,
definitely
that
under your spell.
No.
Take me to your chicken.
Rhett and Link recently got hypnotized for their show.
Fake.
They claim it's totally real. They don't remember it at all, but they're watching themselves behave differently. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I can't believe anyone unless I'm in their brain. I'm very. What is that word? Like I don't believe people easily.
But I've heard
Like
people
cautious,
say
wary.
you have to be open to it, as in like you can be hypnotized, but if you definitely don't want to be, you will not be.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like these people already have that mindset that's like, well, I'm open to anything.
Right,
Those
but
are the
then they
same
don't
type of
remember it.
people. Those are the same type of people that fall into cults and like multi-level marketing.
Like Rhett and Link, they fall into cults.
Do they? Are
don't
they in
know.
Scientology?
No, I don't think they are. I'm just saying, like, I've seen lots of people
Skeptical,
who
that's
seem
the word.
very
Naturally
sane
skeptical.
and normal claim that, like, once they were hypnotized, they don't remember anything that happened
Okay,
after.
well, maybe they give them like a roofie or something.
Ooh, what's that?
You've just been hypnotized by drugs. Have you not heard of, I don't know what the full name is, but a roofie?
No.
Okay, we won't get into that.
Okay. No, I just mean that I've seen people that seem, completely legitimate that can't remember it, but that's why Get Out doesn't make sense. is
Why?
because that guy was definitely not open to being hypnotized, yet he was.
Right.
And I bet a real hypnosis expert or whatever would say, like, no, you couldn't hypnotize him.
Hypnosis expert.
What are they called?
Those are hacks.
Hypnotists.
I like hypnosis expert better, even though that's fake.
Okay. A hypnosis expert would probably watch Get Out and say, no, he was way closed off from that family. Mm-hmm. Chris, the main character of Get Out, would have not have been open
But it
to
was
it.
something,
Wouldn't have worked.
not that I believe in hypnosis, but she had brought up a memory for him that was extremely traumatizing and like triggering. Yeah. So in that situation, I can kind of understand like where the plot was drawing the logic out of.
Sorta. I still think it was exaggerated greatly. I don't think hypnosis
movie,
works that way. No, I know.
Oh, yeah. And the rest of the movie made perfect sense that people's brains are implanted.
No. I'm not saying that because it's a movie you have to just blindly believe anything. I'm just saying
that part wasn't believable.
That part was exaggerated.
Yeah.
That's okay. Movies
and I hope the rest of the movie was exaggerated too.
Totally fine. Just like my persona in tech videos is an exaggerated form of myself. It's okay.
That's something that you asked me.
What?
How I felt about like if I wasn't in a good mood and like we had, not that we have to do this podcast. I enjoy doing this podcast.
Good. Thank you.
But you told me like you don't want to act fake in front of people. Because you are the type of person to like show your emotion on your sleeves or whatever, your heart on your sleeve.
I try to. Yeah.
You think that it's a good thing?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think it's healthy to get into the habit of
hiding,
covering up your true emotions on camera. Because a lot of people do that and it can end up bad for them. So no, I don't like the idea of like acting a certain way on camera and acting a different way off camera to a certain extent. There's certain things I just don't do on camera for the sake of I'm like in presentation mode right now. And there's things I will say off camera, but that not like in regards to like I'm a different person or I act differently.
Right.
I try to act generally the same.
What would you say is your limit? Because some people have said to you, you're completely different on camera. Like I know it's a version of you, but it's super, energetic and excited and
yeah, it's kind of like
and it's just like people don't recognize you when you're calm.
It's kind of like dressing up for an event.
You
or
think
people
so?
put on makeup.
But it's not
still you,
it's not a facade, you don't think?
No, like makeup is a form of covering up, but ultimately I don't think
it's enhancing.
It's enhancing
so
your true self.
So the way you act is enhancing your personality.
Yeah, like I don't want to give people the everyday
mundane.
Hey guys, I'm here. Like I want to dress up a little bit, and I mean personality wise.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I want to.
I kind of felt that way.
Put on my personality makeup a little bit.
I kind of felt that way at work today because I'm still new at my job, and so I'm trying to be like more outgoing and personable than normal because I know that if I make a bad first impression, it's like those people aren't going to want to talk to me anymore or like want to hang out with me. So, I try to make jokes and like get people to, I don't know, relate to me somehow.
Yeah. And I think everyone does it to a certain extent, especially in workplaces.
Well,
it's very
unless
common.
you have like social anxiety and you don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah. Some people will just be 100% straight honest with you all the time. They won't change. But yeah, no, I think certain lines I draw are things that I know would cause divide. So I will try to avoid that a lot of times. Not to the extent of like the tech channel, because that's like where I'm not afraid to tell you, I like Apple products and you can hate me for it. I don't care. But I'm talking more specifically like I try to keep my dialogue fairly family friendly. You know that I don't curse on camera as much as possible.
Right. And you're not like super opinionated about like controversial things.
Yeah, I don't want to get too into politics or religion or specifics in finances and talk about that kind of thing because I know it can cause a stir. I know that a ton more people in my audience would probably be okay with it. I would even say I bet the bulk of my audience wouldn't mind if I talked about politics, religion, got into the specifics of all that, or even cursed on camera. I imagine most of them wouldn't care, but it's those smaller categories of the audience that would get upset about that. And I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather not deal with it. I'd rather not have that uproar. So I'm just going to keep it neutral as much as possible on those hotter topics. So
That's a good explanation.
I do that as much as possible.
Looks like we have a super chat here. Would you like to read it, or do you want me to?
Sure. We got a super chat from Chase Tech, who said, can you do a podcast with Xander and the OG gang? Not that I don't like these. I just miss those. And check out my channel, Chase Tech. Well, thank you for the super chat, Chase Tech. Sadly, we're not in communication anymore. As I've mentioned in the past, we have taken life in different routes. It happens. Friends grow in different ways and in different avenues. And sadly, that won't be happening. But we have lots to look forward to in the future. It was one small part of the past. Believe me, there's parts of it I miss too, but we're going to stay focused on the long run. So sorry, can't happen. But anywho, Back to the Future. Keep focused on that.
Love that movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a good trilogy, actually.
I've only seen the first movie with you guys.
It's kind of creepy. Yeah.
Creepy and like the themes. The sexual undertones.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that in rewatching it. I was like, this is dark.
Yeah,
I don't like.
But you don't realize that when you're young. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that car's cool.
I didn't understand what they were talking about when I was young, but now watching it grown up, I'm like, oh my god, this movie's kind of messed up. I actually liked the second one a lot more than I thought last time I watched it. So maybe we should catch up on that sometime.
Yeah. What is the second one about?
That's when they go to 2015.
Okay, and then what's the third one about?
That's when they go to the Old West. It's like the 1800s.
Okay. They should have gone back to like dinosaur age. Because like, why is there a limit to like how many years you can travel?
Well, there isn't. It's just I think those are the time zones. The writers of that trilogy probably thought would be the most interesting. It's like, okay, we're going to have a movie that takes place in the future now. Okay, now we're going to have a movie that takes place in the Old West. And there's more creative things that can do with that than just dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But you're right. No, could have been interesting. Who knows?
How about the West with dinosaurs? They could put saddles on them and like ride them like horses.
Maybe they should consider rebooting that franchise.
Save a horse.
Not in the same years, though.
Save a horse. Ride a dinosaur.
Save a horse. Ride a dinosaur. Yeah. Oh, that's true. They wanted it to stay relevant to the McFly family. So in all movies, they're still related to. They're still meeting up. He meets like his great grandpa in the third one, and then he meets his son which is his age in the second one, which is kind of cool. It's neat. But if they did a reboot, they should do it where like modern day is 2020, and then they go to the future to 2055, or no, that's the second one, or they go back in time and they go back to 85 or something like that. I don't know, or 95. I don't know. Just a different twist on that trilogy could be interesting.
So you're saying they should remake the whole trilogy?
Yeah, but don't do the exact same thing. I'm saying do a twist. Yeah, do a different years and do another. I like movies that kind of guess what life will be like in 30 years. Because then we get to come back to that movie in 3 decades and be like, well, this is what they got right and this is what they got wrong. Like watching Back to the Future 2 in 2015 was surreal.
What is that car called?
The DeLorean?
Yeah, the DeLorean. What if it was the Tesla in the new version?
It's a roadster.
Yeah.
With the, what's it called? Flex capacitor. That would be cool. That'd be neat. No, I'm usually against like reboots and stuff because I would rather have more original movies. But that's one I would be okay with. I'm like, I want to see a different take on that. I think it could go interesting.
Were there any reboots that you did like?
Yeah. Hold on. I got to think of them. Wait, what is a reboot?
Something that's not an original film. Something
what's the difference between a remake and a reboot? Are we considering those the same thing?
Yeah, I'll just say they're the same.
One I always go to is True Grit.
But you've never seen that original, so how can
I know most about the original. Okay. But I'm just saying.
You can know something without.
All I'm saying is the original True Grit I know is okay. I'm saying the later True Grit is amazing. It's like fantastic. And there's like.
But imagine if you had watched the first True Grit, so you have that to compare from versus the other way around.
Yeah, but we're not asking
you tend to
ask in the first.
Most people tend to like the first version of the movie that they watch versus the reboot.
Yeah, I know, but that's not the question. The question is just which reboot did you prefer?
Right.
Let me
Think of one that you actually watched both.
Watched
the original
both.
and the
What have I
reboot.
watched both of? See, I'm not that old. I don't have a bunch of history to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
What has been rebooted in my time? Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
The Ghostbusters.
Well, I haven't seen the original, but I know the original sucks.
Did you see the one with the women?
I've seen enough of it. Oh, no. I'm not talking. That one sucked.
I love how you can judge things without actually watching them.
I watch so many YouTube review channels that I just.
But you're seeing their point of view, not necessarily your own.
I'm saying I've seen enough of the movie to know that I would hate it. I don't need to watch the rest of it because I've seen like unforgivable scenes, in my opinion.
How about The Room? That was redone. Well, they created The Disaster Artist, which is kind of a twist on it.
No, that's not a remake. That's a movie about the making of the movie.
That's meta.
No, I wouldn't consider that a remake. I would say, yeah, you know what? I would say the Spider-Man Homecoming is a better Spider-Man movie than the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
The what? The Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi.
I don't know who that is.
That's the director of the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 with Tobey Maguire.
I'm so confused. Why there's so many Spider-Man movies?
I know. Isn't it weird that there's been 3 Spider-Man 2s in a 10-year period? They're all like bunched together.
So there's 2 Spider-Man 1s as well? Or what do you mean, Spider-Man 2s?
There was a Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. There was a Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield. And there was a Spider-Man 2 with Tom Holland, which is coming out in a couple months.
Right. But
there's been so
are you
many.
saying there wasn't 3 Spider-Man 1s?
No, I guess there has 2, but I think they're more stretched out than more than 10 years.
Okay. You're saying within 3 or 10 years, there are 3 of the same reboots.
Yeah, there's too many Spider-Mans. I prefer
and then
the
there's
Tom
the
Holland
Spider-Verse. You really
that
like
too.
that.
Yeah, that was good. That was probably the best. I guess that would count as a reboot in a way. So yeah, I would say Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. And that's by no means the original. I'm trying to think of, why am I coming up blank? Pizza Time. Yeah. Tobey Maguire is a great Spider-Man, but no doubt, I just think that it was more, I laugh at the Spider-Man Sam Raimi movies because of how kind of cheesy they are. And that's good.
Cliche.
They're not bad movies. They're just funny. And I love watching them because they make me laugh.
They're also very memeable.
They're very memeable.
You watch those like
Super
YTPs?
The YouTube poops. Yeah, me and Ross watch those.
And they're always
hilarious.
about Spider-Man. Why is that?
Because they're so cheesy. They're so easy to make fun of. It's a brand new universe separated by a different art form. It's a reboot. Shut up.
What, the Spider-Verse?
He's saying it's not a reboot. It's a brand new universe. Yeah, but it's still Spider-Man. It's just a different approach to it. It's a reboot. It's a reboot. I don't care that it's like animated or whatever. It's still, it counts. Let me think. I'm trying to think of one. The True Grit one is my go-to example usually. Yeah, I don't have. Can you think of 2 movies that like you've watched come out and reboot in your lifetime? I can't really.
I don't really watch that many movies. But let me look it up.
Yeah, you definitely
Reboot.
don't watch a ton, but
movies. Tomb Raider, Friday the 13th, Ghostbusters, Mad Max.
Ooh. No, that's a great example.
Oh, I don't like Mad Max Fury Road. I've never seen the original, but like that movie was
That's way
dumb.
better than the original. I
Really?
loved Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay, then the first one must be even worse.
No, I didn't love the originals very much.
Star Trek.
Well, I can't say
Man
I've
of
seen...
Steel.
Yeah.
Green Lantern's a reboot.
Man of Steel. That's another great example. I love Man of Steel way more than the original Supermans. And I've seen that's a situation where I have seen the original first. I've seen the what's his name, Chris Reeves Superman before I seen Man of Steel.
But you prefer
Man of Steel. Man of Steel.
Okay.
Yeah. I think overall I hate what they did with the DC universe, but when they made Man of Steel, that was before DC did their thing.
Yeah, it seems like most reboots are either superhero movies, action films and
Yeah, they reuse those
scary
a lot.
movies. There's like Friday the 13th, Hellboy.
Yeah, I think another Friday the 13th came out like
A
last
Night
year.
on Elm Street, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those were all rebooted.
Yeah, I haven't
guess
watched a lot of those, but
Godzilla was rebooted in.
another great example. Thank you. The internet's very helpful.
I have not seen either, so I cannot speak on
Okay,
this.
I watched the '98 Godzilla a long time ago when I was a kid, and then the 2014 Godzilla came out, and I thought that one was better. So that's a reboot that I prefer.
Yeah, I don't like the plot of it. A
Godzilla?
giant lizard takes over a city.
Oh yeah, it's total schlock. No, it's
What is that?
schlock is like popcorn movie. Like you go there and be like, laugh at how stupid it is. Be like, oh, this is.
I feel like some people
great.
also go and be like, "Oh, this is really scary." I don't know.
Maybe. I didn't find it scary, but
It's just very kitschy to me. Like all those like
I laugh at it. Is what I'm
like
saying.
Sharknado or
No, that's an asylum film. That's different.
Asylum film.
The people who made Sharknado, they're a studio called Asylum. They make
Yeah.
films intentionally bad.
Oh.
They're not trying. Like that's what makes Sharknado kind of hard to watch, hard
I
to
thought
enjoy.
it was the plot just didn't make sense.
Yes,
Sharks
but
and a
they're
tornado.
not trying. Is my point. Those films, they're the people who made
So they're like anti.
Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. They're not. It's funnier. This is coming from Red Letter Media. It's funnier when a movie is trying to be funny or trying to be good and they're failing because it's like, oh, look how hard they tried and yet they failed, versus a movie that's intentionally trying to be bad. And that's an
Okay.
example of a film that's like, we know this is stupid.
So is it? What's the word? Not paradoxical. Is
Not
there
quite a
an
parody.
adjective for parody?
Sorta.
Is it kind of like?
Yeah,
on
it's
the
kind
same
of a
level
parody.
of like the scary movie series.
No, because it's hard to. It's a very fine line between a movie that's scary movie is not that they're not trying. Scary movie is that
Well, they're satirical. They're
intentionally satirical.
They're making fun of other movies, like
Right. They're
poking
they're
fun.
jokingly making the movie, but Asylum is kind of this weird mesh point where it's like we want people to think it's dumb and bad, so we're gonna make it dumb and bad. Whereas Scary Movie is more like
They were also making it dumb and bad. That's the
I don't
point.
know. It's not the
Like,
same
come on, all
genre.
the-
I'm trying to
Have you seen
divide the
Sharknado?
line. Yes, I've seen multiple Sharknadoes.
How many are there now?
I think 8 or something. They make them in like 3 months. They've released like 2 in 1 year, I think.
Dude,
It's
how do
insane.
they hire so many sharks?
Oh, they're all fake. The movie looks terrible. It's like that they don't.
Why would you
care.
crush my dreams like that?
Okay.
I was
Let's,
hoping they had like a casting director just for sharks.
Look, we gotta catch up on super chats before we get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Felipe super chatted and said, "Hot take: superhero movies kind of suck. Fight me IRL." No, I won't fight you IRL.
Actually, I agree with you, Felipe. I do not enjoy superhero movies at all.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I get a kick out of them.
Like, I'll enjoy them because I'm there with you, but that's about it.
Oh, I hope you can.
The plot itself is just like,
No, I like
my
getting-
gosh, this is so predictable. And you probably feel the same way when I'm watching scary movies. You're like,
Or TLC.
yeah, but
Like, I don't care.
you request that as well. It's not just me. But I feel like I'm usually the one that's like, let's watch a scary movie. You're not super into that, as far as I know.
I have been. I've been watching all their scary movies.
I know, but usually I'm the one that's suggesting it. I didn't know you were like into
You
it.
get a better kick out of them though.
Yeah,
You love getting scared
definitely.
and jumping, and I don't find them very scary.
But now that like I've been watching these movies with you and you're like commentating on certain things, then like your opinion starts getting into my brain. So then when there's like a cheap jump scare, I'm like, oh, come on, try harder. You know, like when the maid walked by behind him, they didn't need to play a loud sound just to be like, oh, there's someone there.
Yeah.
It could have been more subtle and it still would have been scary. But anyways, on a tangent.
I
What's
like
the next?
getting in depth in the universes. That's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm enjoying about Marvel right now. It's like there's this huge universe full of characters and they're all mixing, and then the Thanos snap happened, and now they're trying to figure out how they're going to fight back. Like I like that, even though I have problems with lots of the movies. Still, I enjoy them.
Should I water Leafy?
Nah, he's dead.
Live. My Franken plant.
Chase Tech says, can you review and give me a shout out? I know you don't like those, but it would be really nice. All I would recommend to you, Chase Tech, from one creator to the other, is I do appreciate the donation, but don't expect shout outs to do much for you. They won't. I've gotten shout out by huge channels. It doesn't do much.
You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
That's right.
So we'll send people your way, but they're not going to do anything.
We very much appreciate the donation, but if you're aiming to grow your channel,
just be a good creator.
Be a good creator. Try out some different methods. Don't just go for he'll shout me out and then I'll be good. It doesn't work like that. Sadly.
Niam asks, has Louise asked you to watch The Shining? It's a good film. That's a good film you'll love.
I know a lot about The Shining, but I haven't watched it. I've seen a lot of it.
I've seen it twice. It was weird. Both times was with my dad in Australia. It was literally like the same situation, just within like a year of each other. The first time I was just vacationing. The second time I lived there for a little bit.
Okay.
And it's kind of cool because like he lives on a mountain, very isolated.
Yeah.
And so to be watching this movie about these people who are isolated.
See, that's what you got to avoid. That's the running theme I've seen. The last
Every
two
scary
movies we've watched. One was Hush, which was terrible. The second one we watched tonight was Get Out. Both of what they had in common was a house that's far away from their neighbors.
Yeah.
That's the recipe for disaster.
That's the price you pay for privacy, for peace and quiet.
Something goes wrong.
Yeah. Well, if you have like a good security system, have like cameras and maybe like
that power. That's all they do.
Well, you need like a generator or something, but I would definitely have, what are those things called? Like escape rooms or not escape rooms, panic rooms. Something like.
What does that do?
What?
What does a panic room do?
It's like a locked in room that like you're safe in, and maybe we'll like put a shelf there, like a bookshelf. That's the door. Okay. So it makes it seem like there's no room there at all, but you're just safe in there.
You like stuff a ton of food in there? Like how long can you last?
Well, they're not going to wait there for weeks waiting for you to come out.
Who is it? Depends on the psychopath.
Let's say it's a killer / robber.
You need a satellite phone in there.
Okay.
So you can call the police.
Or one of those like ham radios. Hello? Anybody out there?
Because I was going to say, if it's anything like Hush, he'll just hang outside the door and just wait for you to come out.
Right, but the point is it's safe. You can't, well, he can't outweight you though. Like, does this guy?
Maybe he has food or water and you don't.
So he goes to the city, gets food, comes back. Well, when he leaves to get food or whatever, like, yeah, you can have food in there. I don't really know
it's two people.
What the proper protocol is for panic rooms, but I'm saying it's a good idea to have one.
He gets Uber Eats. He has food delivered to him.
And the guy's not going to notice like, dude, you got blood all over you.
No, he said there was blood. He can clean. He's got the whole house. He can take a shower, change his clothes.
Okay, so we'll put the water switch in the panic room so he can't take a shower.
I would say we should just arm ourselves so that we can protect ourselves if need be.
Well, the panic room can have like ways to communicate with the outside world. I'm not saying like you're closed off and like, but
also,
it's just like
don't live in a place with bad cell service. That's another running problem is that they check their phone and there's no service in the Wi-Fi.
Some people actually like that, hun. Some people want to be disconnected from society.
Okay, they can die. I'm just talking about us. I'm saying where our house is.
Wow.
I would prefer to have good service.
Well, I like
even if our Wi-Fi went out and our power went out, we could still contact.
Yeah, I like the idea of like living kind of in an isolated place, having like room to run and to grow.
You can have room and not be.
I don't want to be right next to our neighbors. I'm tired of people parking in our driveway.
No, hun. I'm saying you can have both. You can have.
Okay, we can have both. We'll find some place
that has between neighbors, but not so much space that if something were to go wrong, you would be like miles from help.
Well, I'll say like half a mile. I can easily run half a mile, but more than like half a mile, it's gonna take me a while.
I don't know. I kind of
really half a mile is too much, bro.
I'm talking about I'm thinking of the movie Hush.
Okay, we can have cell service without our neighbors being right next to us.
You need to live in a place where you can comfortably run to the neighbor's house if need be.
Comfortably run, so it has to be like 5 feet away.
Imagine a situation where you're bleeding out, or you're crawling, or you're limping.
Okay. So is one
And
of
you
us
can-
dead in this situation?
I don't know. I'm just saying it can't be.
Well, make up the situation.
How about one where you can't hear what your neighbors are doing? They're that far away that if they're playing music, if they're,
Well, that's
working
like-
on their car,
Yeah.
they're too far away for you to hear that. However, if you want to scream your head off because there's someone attacking you, they would be close enough to hear the scream, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, what's going on?"
Yeah.
That's like the safe distance, right?
Wait, you said far away that we can't hear them, but close enough that they can hear us? That doesn't make
No,
sense.
you're not listening to my
I'm really
details.
not. Sorry.
Ignore the chat
I'm
for
reading.
a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Ignoring.
All right, listen. You need to be close enough that you don't hear them working on their car or playing
Okay.
music. So like basic everyday things they can do and you won't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But close enough so that if there was an emergency and you were screaming your head off, they'd be close enough to hear it.
That's exactly what I said.
No.
Other
you
than the
said-
screaming
that's
part.
not what you said.
I said close enough that we can't hear them, but far enough that.
But I didn't say everyday tasks. I said
Okay,
that if
okay,
you're
so that's the
screaming
only
your head off,
difference.
because in
Screaming versus
in the
just
Get Out
quiet.
situation, he was so far from any other house that he could scream as loud as he wanted, and it wouldn't
Well,
matter.
it's not even about him not being able to scream. It's him also being under the control of someone else.
Okay,
It doesn't
hush.
matter. Okay.
She was far away from people.
Okay.
that
Well,
she
we don't
couldn't
have that
scream.
problem. We're not deaf, so no
I know.
offense to anyone
I'm
who's hard of
describing the
hearing.
perfect setup so that we
Okay.
would be okay.
Michael said, Louise, what's the most scariest movie you've ever seen? Have you seen the Saw movies? I refuse to watch any of the Saw movies. I don't like gore or like tons of bleeding. And
That's
like,
a different kind of scary movie.
yeah, that's like the fear of something physical happening to you or like your skin being peeled off or
just
having to
gory.
saw your arm off or something.
It's real
I'm more
gory.
scared about like supernatural stuff. Also psychological thrillers, like are they hallucinating versus is this real and like actually happening to them?
That's why Gerald's Game was good.
Yeah. At first I didn't like it because I was like, oh, she's just,
You just
stuck
thought it
on
was
a bed.
a survival
Right.
movie. Yeah.
But
It
it was
got
there's a
interesting.
good plot twist. Yeah. That movie definitely scared me, but I also did not like the gory part of it. It's weird.
that
I don't
was
like
not-
blood, like seeing blood.
No, I don't want to watch a movie just for the gore element. I think
Yeah.
gore is
It's
okay
cheap, right?
if-
like
if it's earned. In Gerald's Game, there was a lot of gore, but I thought it was earned. Like they worked up to it.
you think that it was. I don't want to see like that was some of the most like really well done.
Oh, it looked real.
Yeah. It
And
was
you
disturbing.
remember what I was saying when she was, using the glass and whatever? I was like, it's not worth it. I would just die. Just kill me.
Well, it didn't make sense to me the way she cut her wrist. It's like you're not gonna, because she was.
This isn't in a suicidal way, by the way.
Yeah, no, she was doing it so that the blood would like act as a lubricant, so she could get her hands out of the handcuff.
Yeah, but like as she was pulling it out of
I
the
know.
handcuff, the hand was staying, but the arm was going, and I
You
was
mean
like,
the skin?
no, like you could see the hand, and I was like,
The skin, her skin and flesh was peeling off.
I have psoriasis, and that was gross.
Because that's bloody. Honey.
I'm used to
Your
skin
psoriasis-
falling off.
Yeah, hun, that's skin. It's not your entire flesh
Sometimes.
muscle.
Sometimes I'll lose a finger. It'll just
No, you
fall off.
don't.
Yeah.
No,
it
you
sucks.
don't. Stop exaggerating.
My thumb falls off, and I'm like,
But yeah, I
Dang
don't
it.
like that kind of stuff. Although that was very creative and like
oh yeah,
really well done.
very well done.
Felipe has another super chat. Thank you,
Oh,
Felipe.
thank you.
He said Marvel fans are the weebos of American movies.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a weebo is.
Someone who's into
so I'm
anime.
probably a weebo. Let me see what a weebo is.
It's like someone
Isn't
who's
that-
into anime stuff.
Isn't that the sound that a police car makes? Weebo. Weebo.
That's right. That's right.
I just say stupid stuff sometimes, but that's okay.
And Chase Tex said Drew spilled water on him after running a mile. That's true.
Wasn't that just because you're hot?
But I'm always hot.
Okay. Weebo is a mostly derogatory slang term for a Western person who is obsessed with Japanese culture, especially anime, often regarding it as superior to all other cultures. So I don't think that's a bad thing. Someone who appreciates someone else's culture more than their own.
That said superior, which is dangerous. It's a dangerous term.
Well, you have preferences, don't you? Meaning you
Yeah,
think
but
something is,
you can
you
get
think
bust-
Apple
you
is
can get in
superior.
trouble. Yeah, but that's a brand, not a country or a nationality.
Culture.
That gets messy. That gets messy fast.
Okay. It's weeaboo.
Weeaboo.
What? Hey, honey.
What?
Weeaboo.
Weeaboo.
No, you a boo.
Thank you for the super chat from David.
Joaquin.
Who
no,
said,
it's Joaquin.
Wakanda forever.
Don't you have to
Black
like
Panther.
do a thing with it? Like,
Something. Well, I can't do that. I'm not from Wakanda.
what kind of joke is that?
Wakanda's not forever. Half their population probably got wiped out. So
By the famine. It had nothing to do with the movie. There's a severe drought happening in
they
Africa
just
right
ran
now.
out of food. So that sucked.
Good thing they don't exist.
That's true.
Right?
They have no idea where they are. Of course they don't. It's a movie.
What else would you like to talk about tonight?
Well, I think we've covered everything. Oh, you guys were arguing about the Gatorade or water. It was Gatorade at the attic, water at the track where he spilled water on himself.
Mm-hmm.
I've also poured water on myself in previous text streams. I love how we're still debating this.
Drew likes Marvel movies more. What?
Sort of, yeah. It's
Sorta. You
complicated.
told me this.
No,
Are
we
you
talked about this. I think you're remembering it wrong.
No, you said DC has some good movies coming up, but you like the Marvel universe better. That's what you told me.
It's more complicated than that.
Oh my gosh, you're okay. Tell me
What?
why it's so complicated.
Okay, what I said was DC has fewer good movies, but they have the best movies.
Okay.
In other words, I love the Dark Knight trilogy more than any Marvel movie. There's no
and
Marvel
like the
film.
universe. You could care less about the Marvel universe,
No, I like the Marvel universe
but you
overall.
don't think it's better.
Like, I think the average...
But you don't think it's better than the Dark Knight or whatever. The DC.
No Marvel film individually I think is better than any of the Dark Knight trilogy. In regards to like what I appreciate in a film, that's totally personal preference. But overall, in regards to which studio is more likely to make a decent film, it's probably going to be Marvel. But DC has made a lot of crap, though the couple movies they have made, I have loved and I think are better.
Krista says Drew is complicated. Confirmed. I agree.
Hey, that's what I'm a complicated dude.
He's
Gives
very
me plenty to talk
very
about.
sensitive. Just kidding. I don't know. I'm not super into superhero movies. Like I'm not like into like, oh, this character did this and then they killed this person. They came back to life and then all this happened. But I appreciate them for the entertainment factor. Like that's fine. It's a action-packed movie or whatever, but I'm not really into the universe and all the different characters.
Yeah, I just like it as an escape.
Especially Thanos. Like, that guy makes no sense at all. Octopus chin. Not octopus chin. Trademark chin.
I just like Louise saying, Thanos makes no sense at all.
I mean, isn't that like his shtick? Is that he makes no sense?
Yeah.
And that his logic is that he was going to wipe out the population because there's not enough resources for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I bet there's crazy, like, radical people who think that about the human race. They're like, we can solve all the world's problems.
You get stuck in traffic, you'll start to believe that.
Yeah. Well, Bill Burr had a good skit or bit about this.
He kind of pitched Thanos'
But
idea.
But I like Bill Burr's representation of it or interpretation better.
Yeah.
He was like, what if we got the population down to like 30,000 people? Everyone could go to the Super Bowl. There'd be no traffic. Everyone could have their own tanks. And if
he said everyone on cruises would just die.
that was a different bit.
But I remember that interview.
Oh, like that's how he would get rid of half the population?
Yeah, he's like,
They
how
would
would you do
create
it?
cruise ships.
Like, I don't know. Just,
fill them with all the dumb people. They would just disappear.
no, he just said regular cruise ships.
Oh.
Because he said that's a part of the
What's the
population
difference?
you don't really
Just kidding.
need.
I'm kidding. I want to go on a cruise.
He got a lot of backlash for that.
I don't
Because
care.
it is kind of...
I don't care.
No,
I support Bill Burr.
He didn't either.
Yes, I did see Wonder Woman. That was a good movie, but at the same time, I don't really care about superheroes. So
Yeah, Wonder Woman
when
good.
I was 8, though, I had a Wonder Woman cake. I remember that.
Cake?
Mm-hmm. It had like a Wonder Woman figurine on it and like a rainbow that she was flying on or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I liked
But-
Wonder Woman. That was decent.
Wonder
But-
Woman.
Yeah, Thanos believes in nihilism, probably.
I have to look
safe
that
to
word
assume.
up. Sorry,
Basically,
I haven't been in school in a long time, and I
basically a
forget.
pessimist.
Are you sure?
So,
Pessimist or anarchist?
how come? Well, all of you Thanos defending people in the
Nihilist.
chat, answer me why he couldn't just make more resources.
A person who believes that life is meaningless and rejects all religious and moral principles. Isn't that an atheist then?
Somewhat, yeah.
Or someone? It's someone who's very like.
Did you know atheism is a non-profit organization?
We believe in nothing.
No, non-profit.
Oh, what
Because
do you
there's
mean?
no profits.
Oh my gosh. Drew, that was bad. That's gonna haunt me tonight.
That's literally not. He's got the Infinity Stones. He could just make more resources.
Oh, is that what the stones do?
Well, if he can flick and erase everything, why can't he just, I don't know, do this and then make more stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, why doesn't he just create like more Earths
Reality can
or
be whatever he
more
wants.
planets?
Why erase
So
when
is
you
he
could
basically God? Like he just has no limit?
add? Basically, if...
Yeah, he's just selfish then if he's trying to kill everyone instead of making more resources for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well, it worked for him.
purple people eating.
One-eyed one.
Yeah.
Flying purple people eating. We're not talking about the comics. The comics are totally different. The comics do not represent what happens in the film. They are based off of the comics, but they are totally different.
Did you know that your life is based off of a true story? That made no sense.
Yeah, it is.
Your life is
It's a
a
good
true
point.
story, right?
Yeah. I am. No,
What
this
is your
is all
life?
true.
What comic book is your life based off of?
The Tailosive comic book? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Someone write this.
The Tailosive comic book.
Yeah.
That would be kind of boring.
I can imagine like the dark parts of it or like the humble beginnings.
The dark.
Drew is up at 12 a.m. in his attic.
Is it weird that I still like remember it so vividly?
No, I think it's
That's
a
the
very,
weird thing.
it was a very, not traumatizing, but like important part of your story and your journey and your growth in Tailosive.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I can still feel like I was just there. Mm-hmm. What I mean, like, because I was backing up all these old footage files and I was browsing through some of them and I found some old Saturday Short files. And when I open them and I'm in the attic, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like I never left. It's like I remember where everything was. I remember
less
the chairs.
than 2 years ago, if
I
you think
remember
about
like
it.
tiny details, like how the windowsill was,
Right.
and the texture of the wood and the paint. And I remember how low the ceiling was and how it felt to be in there, like temperature wise.
Don't
like
forget it, hun.
Oh, I can't. It's all so vivid to me,
Good.
even though it was so long ago, and the room
It's
doesn't
not
look like that.
long ago, though. In the grand scheme of things, 2 years is not long ago.
No, not really, I guess.
But it's just because you've gone through so much change in a short amount of time. It feels like that should have felt longer than it was, but it actually wasn't. Again, time perception is relative.
I should do the math on how long I was in the attic. I think someone did that statistic
Like how many
once.
years?
Well, like days of like Tailosive tech started here, and then
It was
I was in the attic from here to here.
January 21st, 2014.
Oh, wow. Good memory. Yeah, that sounds right.
Either January 21st or 14th. One of those. And then you left in September 3rd of 2017, correct?
2017.
Was that September?
Yeah.
September 1st?
So, yeah, I've still been in the attic longer than both offices.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
That's kind of crazy.
So 14 to 17. So like 3.5 years.
Wow.
And so
That was a while.
in like May or March of 2021, then it'll be an equal amount of the time in the attic versus the time everywhere else. Because it's like 3.5 years.
Oh, geez. So you're saying even when we move into the home office, if we're there for 2 years, it still won't be as long as the attic.
Something like that.
Jeez. Okay. Wow. So the attic is still the longest running tech set. Wow. That's weird.
Time is so fast.
And yet so slow.
Yeah.
Depends on what's going on.
Wasn't there a song that's like, life's not really, it's not short, it's actually really long. Life is very long if you're lucky.
It's long in the moment, short in the hindsight, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Because high school, people kept telling me, it's like, oh, it's just a blur. Before you know it, it's over. And I'm just like, doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's taking forever.
Yeah.
High school felt like
torture,
especially on the first day, because you knew you had 4 years to go. So
I actually enjoyed like the first year and a half.
Good.
After that, it was downhill.
I'm glad you liked it. That's good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for me, that day one was like, oh my God. Like, I was so not looking forward to anything.
Do you ever find yourself like wishing things were more enjoyable in the moment so that they would go faster, or hoping that things weren't as fun so that it would feel like it was going longer?
I'm trying to unpack that. So you're saying,
That's a complicated
do you wish
question.
high school was more fun?
I'm not talking about high school specifically. I'm saying time in general. Like,
no, yeah, I would like it to. I would rather have short but good times rather than long and painful times.
Well, I'm saying painful times tend to feel painful times tend to feel longer just because they're painful or not enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Time flies when you're having fun. The cliche saying.
Yeah, I don't care if life is long if it's not enjoyable. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have it be enjoyable, even if it's shorter.
Fun time, not a long time, or something.
Yeah,
people say that.
Yeah, no, like a lot of people just assume if you make it to 100 or something, you must have had a great life.
Yeah,
it's like not necessarily.
Do you ever like? Let's say you're having a really good time. You're doing something you enjoy. Do you ever like think to yourself, okay, I need to like take a moment and breathe this all in?
Oh, like, yeah.
Soak it all in and
I still do that.
Really? Mm-hmm. I have a hard time doing that.
There are times, a lot of times I did it in this office. I guess I'll do it in the next one too. But I would stand about where that metal tripod is, mm-hmm. and I would close my eyes and just stand there. And I would try to visualize myself in the attic again as mm-hmm. best as possible, and try to remember not having an audience and not having a following, so that I could get my brain back to where it was before all of this happened. Mm-hmm. And then I would just freeze there with my eyes closed as much as possible. Think, okay, you're in the attic. No one's watching your videos. You're trying to upload your Saturday short. You're hoping they'll get like 30 views. And, mm-hmm. you know, like that's your goal today. Oh, man, I hope we can achieve it. And I just try to separate myself as much as possible from the present mm-hmm. and go back to the past.
That's a little different than my question.
And then, well, I'm not done.
Okay.
And then I open my eyes and try to act like I've never seen all this before. Mm-hmm. Try to look at it like I just looked at it for the first time. Like, where am I? Oh, that's my logo. This is my set. This is my office. Mm-hmm. Let me look at the numbers. This is my audience. This is my channel. These are the people who watch it. This is how many views you get on average. This is what your new normal is. And just the juxtaposition makes me appreciate, like, wow, this all happened. Like, mm-hmm. it's real. This isn't a dream. And it's all still happening. So I still do that sometimes.
That's a really sweet sentiment, Drew.
And I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you for sticking around and watching, because I try to not take that for granted.
That's good.
As much as possible.
That's good.
Yeah.
You were telling me earlier you'd prefer slow growth over fast growth.
Yeah, we were talking about that briefly before we went live, actually, because you were saying, what were you saying about growth?
Just that how could we grow our audience
mm-hmm.
and still retain like interest in what we're talking about?
Yeah, you said something like we should do a vlog that's a little different than normal, so that we can...
Just because, you know, they get repetitive doing
mm-hmm.
the same things. Like, our lives aren't super exciting. We're not like jet setting off places or meeting, I don't know, people, crazy people.
Yeah, we're kind of repetitive in our lifestyles.
And I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah,
that's a normal life.
Yeah. No, I like it. But I was suggesting that, growing too fast is a legitimate issue. I've seen channels suffer from that, actually. Because you were saying, like, we're growing, but it's kind of slow. And I said, slow growth is good. And then you said, but it could be faster. And I was like, it might not always be what you want, though.
Yeah. I'm not trying to, like, push you to be something you're not. Because I'd rather you be authentic and have these fans and supporters that actually care about you versus, like, they saw one video that they thought was interesting and that's the only thing that they really care about.
That can be a big issue. I've seen it happen. I won't name specific channels, but I've seen channels that grow and they'll explode, basically, like really fast. They'll do something, or they'll find a new format or a new style, and they'll implement it, and then boom, subscribers, they just shot up, and they get thousands of subscribers in a day, and they're not used to getting that many. And then, they grow and they get big really quickly. And then once they kind of reach the end of that fire, that kind of gunpowder they found, once they're done throwing the gasoline on the bonfire, now the fire dies down a lot quicker. It's the perfect example of a candle, burning too bright.
Yeah. Now it's kind of like relationships. Like you don't want to have such a strong flame that it burns you out.
Yes.
Like a slow burn is better.
You got to move slowly. That's how you build a loyal audience that's not just interested in one video that you did well, but they're interested in the routine of your content.
It's like a good way, well, just like exposure in general, and like having that vast amount of people, even if they're interested in just one video, now at least you have some sort of audience and you can still continue to make content for them, and maybe now you know what people are interested in, and hopefully that won't change who you are and change what you're interested in, but you at least have just more people that can support you and help you get to where you want to be.
Right. You want fans that are into you for your
personality.
I would say personality, but more just like your long-term style. They like you because they've been watching lots of your videos, not just one. If you get to the days where you start blowing up because you did one video or one kind of video, and you start uploading them again and again because they keep going up, then you grow too fast. And by the time you try to do anything else, they're like, oh, that's not what I wanted. And then they'll unsub, and then your growth will be stunted for a long time. And it's happened
But at that point, they're
times.
already so high, it doesn't really matter. I feel like Mr. Beast is that way. Like he keeps doing, I don't watch him. You watch him sometimes.
Yeah, I do. I watch all his videos.
But he's found like an algorithm that he can do these crazy videos and still not have people bored with his outrageousness.
He's really cool, and is more creative, I think, than people realize. But I am so glad that I don't have his job. That sounds like one of the most stressful YouTube positions possible. That looks like one of the most frustrating places to be as a content creator ever.
Is that you have to keep pushing the envelope, otherwise people will get bored.
Basically, you need to reinvent the wheel every week. Every week you have to come up with something. Like, I am blessed and thankful that with my format that people come back to every week. And
it's just you. It's natural.
It's just me, and I set up a camera, and I can do most of it with my eyes closed, basically, so to speak. I can record a video, take the CFast cards, edit them really quickly, edit it together, and be done in a good 2 hours. And that's like a system of routine, and it's a good system of income, and the audience likes it, and I like it. That we found a good.
Maybe to Mr. Beast, he feels the same way.
Man, I
maybe
wonder
to
how.
him that feels natural to like constantly be pushing the boundaries of what a video could be. And
it would just exhaust me what he does.
I feel like he enjoys it, honestly, coming up with the ideas and putting them into.
It's just a lot of work.
It is, but he's also got a lot of people to help him.
He does, but I think that
he's compensated greatly. So I think I mean, he's getting paid for it, so it's not meant to be easy.
People like that attract a lot of what's it called?
Hate?
Gold diggers. Not just in the female form, but I just mean in the regards to people want to take advantage of him because they know his financial status. And that's a really dangerous place to be.
That's happened to you, too.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
In a smaller scale, but...
Yeah, not to the extent Mr. Beast had, but I've had friends that are not my friends anymore because of...
They assume that they're entitled to something.
Sure.
Entitled to some part of your success.
Yeah. So I know what that's like. So I imagine Mr. Beast probably went something through what I went through like 100 times that, though, because of how huge his financial status is.
Let's just hope he's careful with who he trusts and who he
his friends seem genuine.
Do they?
But I don't know them very well, obviously. I'm seeing them on camera. I don't know what they're like. So, yeah, but he, like, the variety, the type of crazy stuff that he does week to week, and it's always changing. Mm-hmm. I have no idea how I would keep doing that. Like, I would get burnt out so fast.
Right.
Like, this week we got to buy...
Is it every week that he does a video?
About every week. Sometimes
well, imagining or considering that you make like 2 to 3 videos a day. He makes one a week. So...
They take a lot of time, though. Yeah. Like, way more than mine to take easily. Like, as quickly as he has to buy like 100 leaf blowers and then buy like 500 helium balloons and then arrange 40 giant YouTubers to come to his
That's not every studio. Video, though. He had a video he was just counting, so it's not like every video.
That's old Mr. Beast. I'm talking.
Oh, there's new
I'm
Mr.
talking
Beast?
recent Mr. Beast since he exploded has been.
Did he not explode back when he was counting like 1 million?
Not to the same extent. Those are like when you're reaching your first 1 million subscribers compared to now where he's reaching like 20 million. Mm-hmm. It's like it's a different level of fame, but no, it's insane to me. Like the amount of work that goes. I'm just saying, like,
oh my gosh, he's 20.
Right now?
What? Yes.
I'm older than Mr. Beast. Wow,
That's
that feels
crazy.
Weird. Does anyone
His
feel poor
full
yet?
name, Jimmy Donaldson.
His name's Jimmy? Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. He's going to be on the H3 podcast.
Cool.
I'm kind of interested in that one. I want to watch that. That sounds like fun. I'd like to try it.
To be on the podcast?
I'd like to visit other people's podcasts someday. But I've been watching...
You don't want to be the podcast people visit?
Or that, yeah. I mean, probably not when we're working from home. Then we'd have to invite them to our house. But someday. But I've been watching a lot more Joe Rogan than H3. He seems like a cool guy. I'd like to meet him someday. Who knows? Maybe I will.
Yeah, never say never.
Never say never. Anywho's, we should probably get going. We're getting late here. This is a longer podcast than usual, but we got time. So, do you want to wrap it up?
No work tomorrow.
Yeah, no work tomorrow. Nice.
Anyways, guys, this has been fun talking about all the random stuff that pops up in our heads.
Yeah. So thank you guys for your super chats and all your questions. For your
support and your love and also your hate. No, no, thank you for that.
We appreciate it all. Anywho, so thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.